I am Onongo Patrick, and I joined the Uganda Police Force as a police constable, and I went through ranks from corporal to sergeant. Then from sergeant I went to AIP and to inspector of police, and I retired when I was ASP, assistant superintendent of police. And I've been I served the police force for 37 years.
I joined the police in 2004 as a cadet officer and served until 2017.
I served the police from 2007 to 2013. That's about 6 years. I left when I was superintendent of police, and by then I was working at Ntungamu police station as the DPC, district police commander.
I served in the force for 14 years. I exploited a provision in the Police Act which allows, it is in a public service, which allows one to retire after serving for 12 uninterrupted years.
I joined police in 1989, 1st March. I retired on the 3rd of May 2022. I served 33 years.
One of the things that I enjoyed most and which guided my activities and work in the police force were the functions. The functions which we can say the mandate of the police force, which is one is the protection of life and property.
It is an institution which empowers you when you're serving forces, but police, the one I know, is that you are empowered, first of all, for your own good, but also for the family and also for the community.
All your powers are derived from the Constitution. Said protect life and property, detect and prevent crime. So when you are moving at night alone, patrolling, and you know that you are protecting the people, I think there is a lot of joy in that.
The main law that guides policing, which is the Police Act, is a very good law and it has very good provisions to help policing the service. The challenge is always on the enforcement. I know that for a good time of the regime which preceded the Ochola's regime, there was a total disregard for most of these policies, this documentation. So someone's word mattered. It was about what the top management wanted to be done.
There are certain things that are not really clearly spelled out in the law or in the legal framework, but most of the things are just as a matter of procedures, things that we inherited or were under the police standing orders. And most of these police standing orders are now outlawed. Even those books are no longer, they are outdated.
You could see the police standing orders went a little bit to regulate that power. For example, you said power to stop a car. It must be an officer of inspector and above. The police standing order wanted to make sure that not everybody simply goes on the road and stops a car and that kind of thing.
At times, other forces like politics override some of those laws and they are shelved, and the political intention takes over. The guidelines are there, very clear. People are recruited basing on their qualifications, but of course, you find moments where people are recruited. You can be in a training, Then from nowhere you see a group of people already being brought.
Where you recruit into the police must be sorted out fast.
For example, police has no system they use in deploying and transfers. Someone will just wake up and say, then you transfer to Karamoja, the other is transferred to. And when they wake up the following day and they maybe next month and they feel they want to make some changes, or the specific policeman who is in Katwe has annoyed the person and is transferred to them. So there is no policy which gets that systematically that this is when we transfer and this is how we transfer.
It should be made regular and methodical other than haphazard. Because there is a time they can say all people in Kampala are being transferred up country. It doesn't work like that. They should say that you will be in Kampala, you should, in every region people will serve there this time. And then they get transferred.
I believe that if you are going to have a police that is accountable to the public, then you need to look at the gateway.
The public needs to know. They need a report. You have to tell the public. You have to tell the people you are serving. You have to tell the people you are protecting that this is happening because of this. When we do things well, we are praised.
The Professional Standards Unit does not act on senior officers, senior management officers of the force. It simply concentrates on small men, maybe middle management and small men.
Checks and balances are not very clear to some level. PSU is supposed actually to check on those on those lapses, but time and again you have heard that they are ghost police officers. So when you hear such a kind of things, you know that actually there is issues of accountability. Someone does something out of impunity.
I think we have to make it very explicit that once there is a violation of right of a Ugandan, that trial needs to be public. But if it is internal in the barracks or something like that, then we don't need.
Preventive arrest is okay, it should stay there because there are circumstances where it's required. For example, if police has reason to believe that a person wants to commit suicide, that person can be arrested and prevented from committing suicide. Or has reason that a person has intentions and capacity to injure people, to kill, and there is proper reason to believe that actually is going to injure people, that person can be arrested.
They should be empowered at the same time as they are trained on how to handle such charged crowds. But also the public has a civic duty to understand how not to risk their lives in such situations, if at all they are not taking it as war between them and the police.
There should be a civilian component within the professional standards, police standards. So that actually the civilian, when he's reporting, he will find some other person he can confide himself or herself in. So I think the independent body should have been there yesterday. But that independent body should be having the civilian component, and maybe former police officers, let me say, former army officers, former judicial officers. I'm saying former because these ones have the independent element.
One is because the police has military commanders, so they have no problem working with their colleagues. But also, for a long time, there have been a feeling that the police is so soft, so they feel they want to get hardy guys to support the police in doing it. But I also think when the military is not at war, there are so many into the barracks and probably redundant, and somebody wants to occupy them.
Mindset is something wide. Sometimes they call it ideological tuning. We have heard of the patriotism that has been always even emphasized by His Excellency the President. If we don't train the civilians to understand really what is at stake and what is required as a citizen, definitely we shall end up recruiting these residues, and to train them when they have matured would be a bit hard.
It should be a way that police officers should be allowed to do their studies and in fact facilitated. Because they enjoyed my 5 years as a director of studies, even before as a trainer, because I had gone to school. Okay? Yet I could still have served and eaten the same money when I'm an O-level leaver.
I also think that certain powers need to be regulated. Not that it is going to be wiped up as an offense, but can you put an accountability mechanism where those powers can be regulated? Once you have that, then you are going to have the legal regime that is going to help people being accountable for their actions.